All right, we are about to dive into the truly fascinating world of neurological diversity. Get ready, because we're going to explore some of the rarest brain traits out there, things that might just explain everything about the way you think.
I mean, really think about it. Have you ever felt that? Like you're picking up on signals that nobody else seems to notice? Or that your internal world is just built differently? Well, that one question is the key to this whole explainer.
Because what if all those little weird habits you have, or the unique ways you see the world, what if they aren't just quirks? What if they're actually signs of a genuine, rare biological trait? Well, that's exactly what we're here to find out. First up, we've got a trait that honestly sounds like it's straight out of science fiction. We're talking about a brain that has some very interesting wiring.
Okay, so what is synesthesia? Just imagine for a second that your brain's sensory department has some crossed wires. So a sound doesn't just register as a sound, it might also trigger a color or a taste. It's not a disorder at all. It's just a totally different and often way more vibrant way of experiencing reality.
And just how rare is this? Well, only about 4% of the population gets to experience the world this way. So if any of this is sounding familiar to you, you are part of a very, very exclusive club.
And the experiences themselves can be incredibly wild and diverse. It could be something like seeing the color blue every time you hear a middle C on a piano, or tasting a flavor and describing it as pointy, or, and this one's really common, you've just always felt that certain numbers have personalities. Like the number 7 is just kind of rude, right? That's a form of synesthesia. Even seeing time as a physical loop around your body counts.
All right, let's switch gears to our next trait. This one has to do with something most of us just assume everyone has, the ability to picture things in our mind's eye.
Let's actually try a quick experiment right now together. Go ahead and close your eyes for a second. Okay? Now I want you to picture a bright red apple, and it's sitting on a wooden table. Really, really try to see it. Got it? Okay, you can open your eyes.
So what did you see? If you saw that apple in crisp, vivid detail, almost like a 4K movie was playing in your head, you might have something called hyperphantasia, an incredibly vivid mind's eye. But what if you saw, well, nothing, just blackness? You might have aphantasia. See, it's a complete myth that everybody has this picture screen in their head. For a lot of people, that screen is just permanently off. They know what an apple is, of course, but they don't actually see an image.
Okay, so from seeing to remembering. Our next trait is about a type of memory that is so powerful it almost defies belief.
It's called Hyperthymesia, or more formally, superior autobiographical memory. And look, we are not talking about someone who's just good at remembering birthdays. No, we're talking about the ability to pick any random date from, say, 10 years ago, and recall exactly what you wore, what you ate for lunch, and what the weather was like that day.
The best way to think about it is like this. Your brain is a computer that literally never deletes a file. And yeah, while that might sound like a superpower, it's got a pretty serious downside. You can't filter anything out, including the bad days. Every single memory, the good and the bad, is saved in perfect high definition forever.
Okay, this next one, wow, this might hit really close to home for a lot of people. Have you ever been driven into a blind rage by a sound that seems totally innocent to everyone else?
Well, if you have, it might not just be you being cranky. It could be something called Misophonia. The source material calls it a brain glitch, where a simple, ordinary sound, like somebody chewing their food or clicking a pen, doesn't just annoy you, it triggers a genuine, intense fight-or-flight response in your body.
It's a full-on neurological chain reaction. First, the trigger sound hits your ears. Then your nervous system just completely overreacts. And the result? A feeling of almost uncontrollable, aggressive rage. For someone with misophonia, a sound like that can feel like a physical assault.
So, after looking at all these incredibly unique ways a brain can be wired, what's the big takeaway here? Well, it really brings us to the myth of the normal brain.
And that really is the heart of it all. There's no such thing as a standard issue brain. Our internal worlds are unbelievably diverse. Each one of us is operating on a vast spectrum of perception and experience.
And I absolutely love this way of putting it. These traits aren't flaws. They're not disorders. They're just different operating systems. Some of us are running on iOS, some on Android, and some of us are running a rare version of Linux. Each one has its own unique features and its own strengths.
And this is why all of this matters so much. When you understand your brain's unique wiring, you can finally stop fighting against your own biology. Instead of seeing something as a flaw, you can start to see it as a hidden advantage, something you can learn to work with.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Which operating system do you think you're running? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.